patented it. So, there. And this is how you turn science into business, basically, and you help reduce the food waste of this chocolate. It will not be thrown away after it. It stabilizes the good tasting chocolate, and it sort of brings science and business together. And with that, I would like to finish and invite questions from the audience on synchrotrons and Max 4. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and we actually have some time for questions on both what's been done and inaugurated here yesterday and on anything from chocolate and brownies to diabetes and arsenic. So the floor is yours, but while you prepare your questions, I know that you have some already.
I just want to make sure, do we have a plan for the chocolate problem? Because we've covered some important problems today, but it occurs to me that that one up there, that's one of the major ones, right? So Axel, do you have a plan for that now? If you can use this Max 4, can we then solve the chocolate problem?
Well, I think there are many problems of this, and what I wanted to do is just give you a flavor of where synchrotrons and to some extent newtons have been used in science, where you wouldn't think that they're useful, and where they can show you stuff that has not been done with anything else. And there are many aspects of scientific problems, from clean water and all the other things that we've heard today, where synchrotrons can help. They're not the essential tool necessary, but they can give you a piece of the puzzle of a problem that you're tackling that you cannot get by any other means. And so this is just a flavor, because melting chocolate like this, melting chocolate and then letting it cool down and see how the crystal structure evolves, you cannot do this with any other technique. So you have to go to a synchrotron, and that's one of the aspects of it.
So it's quite cool.
It is very cool.
It's quite cool.
So that's one problem solved already. Do you have more problems we need to solve, or we're going to go straight to the audience?
Go to yours.
Yeah, I wonder a bit about the similarities and differences between Max 4 and ESS. What is it we can do with Max 4 that we cannot do with ESS?
So in terms of light, I don't know what your background is scientific, but the way that free neutrons behave like waves, exactly the same way that X-ray behave like waves, and they're scattered in the same way. But neutrons do not see the electrons, so they don't see the chemistry. They interact with the nucleus, but they see hydrogen. So hydrogen economy in neutrons is a big topic. Whereas electromagnetic waves like X-rays, they see all of the electrons, and the electrons is all the chemistry, basically, in the material. So you can see where the electrons are, what chemical oxidation state you're in. And so you need both. And if you think about it in a simple way, one is green light and one is red light. If you shine green light at something, you only see one part. If you shine red light at something, you only see some other part. So it's just different light.
Got it. Do you have any other questions?
It's time for drinks now.
It's soon time for drinks. I have one though. What if people are just sitting here and they're a little bit shy? Is it possible to come and see the Max 4?
Oh, that's a question I've never had before. Well, actually we do visits. Since the interest is so very big, we have now set up a visitor center for the more public part of the interested people, so that we can really focus on scientists and especially when you come from a company and might want to know about, because maybe I can use this, but I'm not sure. No, and I need to get a feeling for it. Then we can bring them in and we let them see a beamline scientist that we think might suit their needs. And then we have the start of the talk. Okay. And this is also where Axel and his friends come in, and also very important, the mediator companies that has the knowledge, because you probably don't go straight in. You need someone in between that has done the experiments before and can actually help you.
Yes.
put your questions right.
It's not plug and play, this thing.
No, not really. Not really,
I
no.
think that sounds fair enough.
This is actually what we do at Invest. So we try and go out and attract companies to work with local companies, come here and set up offices. But it's not necessarily Max4 and ESS per se as facilities, but it's the entire ecosystem, as Tutti mentioned, the mediator companies, the proximity to the universities here in the region, the talent, the innovation systems and all that. That's what attracts.
So we were thinking having a few drinks and then go to Max4 later, but perhaps not then.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, but
Maybe not, yeah, okay,
I
maybe
will
not.
check on
The
that.
Kings closed the door for today.
Bad luck for us.
So, but Axel, apart from being a specialist, you also work for Invest in Skåne, right? So you don't just represent Max4, you have two hats. And Invest in Skåne obviously are one of the major initiative takers behind this big event. So can you tell us a little bit about what was the purpose and what is the advantage in having an event like this, and why is it worth all those hours and all that effort?
Yes. So we came up with this idea of the bridge because we felt the need that there was of a better dialogue between science and business. And in this region, as I've just mentioned, you know, the ecosystem of science and spin-offs, you just have to look around here at the Tetra Pak and Ollie, Bluetooth was mentioned today. We have a very good culture here, but we need to take that discussion between science and business out globally. So we wanted to have an international forum where we invite scientists, companies, to tackle some of the global challenges with this dual aspect of science and business and bringing it together. And I was at an event last year in Boston, in Washington, where BASF was hosting a session on nutrients in food, for example, which is really, for BASF, that's a business model. They produce most of the nutrients in food, and you have this challenge in the world where you have not only malnourishment but also obesity coupled, you know, because people do not have access to cheap and good food. It's either cheap and bad or good and expensive. But for BASF, it's a question of the value chain that we have to tackle.
Well, I want to congratulate you on this initiative and just remind us that when we look here, it looks like some of us might have taken an early break, but that's not true. There's actually 3 workshops going on at the same time and 2 roundtable discussions. So we're co-creating here and in separate different places around the bridge.
The point is that the thinking behind this initiative is that it's not just supposed to be a conference, right? That there's supposed to be things ongoing. And I would like to ask that question to the audience first, and then maybe later to you, whether can we think of some ways that we can sustain that? Can we think of some ways that when we leave tomorrow, some collaboration or something practical or something hands-on, it may be a small thing can come out of it?
Yeah, that's a very good suggestion.
It's a big question, and it doesn't have to be a big and complicated plan. So maybe that's a question that we leave for the drinks then. Tutti, do you have a bit on how we could keep this happening so it's not just a conference?
Well, I hope that you all call me to actually get
That's
this
very specific offer
study
here.
this in, because I think it starts with, I mean, this synchrotron, when you drive past it, it looks like a spaceship. And I think many people think of it as a spaceship. It's very complicated and kind of secret, and maybe I'm not allowed even. And we need to encourage people to get over that threshold and actually call us and say, it looks interesting. Can I have a tour? And then maybe when talking, we will realize that you have a need that I can help you solve. I might be all of it, but I might be part of it.
And in that way, I think you speak for science in general, right? We need to be a little bit open, and we need to invite business in, and just to make sure that people who have questions can come and talk to us, because it is in this collaboration between business and science that we can solve some of the really, really big problems.
That's so true, and yeah, I'd love to have your comment in a second. I'm just so excited about all the different contacts that we just had during the breaks and the lunches. I actually had to empty my pocket because it was starting to look bad from all the business cards. So I put it in my bag and roughly equally divided between science and research and policy on the other hand. And I think, so hands up here, who has new business cards that you're actually going to at least contact after this meeting? Hands up.
Amazing!
That's 83%?
Yeah.
And then somebody didn't really get the question, so let's round up to 85.
I think,
Oh, okay.
83.2, yeah.
You're right, yeah, you're right. I exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, applause for that. A comment from you.
If we are really serious about the future, we can make a good, effective plan. So we can try initiate with some scientists and some practitioners, some policymaker leaders, and they can move where the real success example of the bridge, the type of the bridge action. So if they spend some time and they can think, so they can create some real way or real path. If you are pack setting discussion, so they are the real formal phase. This is not the link of the heart to heart. If we can make a plan for exposure for future where the real successful example of the bridges. And you can say the exchange of knowledge. If we can do the exchange of knowledge, so we create some faith and trust, and we can say, oh yes, now we can jointly see the future and the science and business. But some need some exposure.
I love that, and I would love to also, focusing on what you're saying, and what you've been doing is walk the talk. You
Yes.
did a 37 or 38-day walk along the Ganges River, and this conference, the bridge, which is more than just a conference, it's also about showing what we are talking about. So, and we made a mistake, I think, with maybe the chocolate cake. Put it on us, we insisted. But for the organizers, the food at lunch was vegetarian. The cars that drive here are Nissan's electric car to make sure that the transport is sustainable. We're all gonna make mistakes, but we're all gonna also walk the talk if we want to be credible and if we want to prove that it's not just one another conference where we're just talking and then we go on with our ordinary lives.
Wonderful.
Yes, an applause to the organizers for that. Do we have any other last comments of the day, any reflections that you want to give to all of us rather than individually at the drinks that are waiting outside in the sun? This is almost asking for you to not say anything, right?
Actually, it is, yes.
Last minute comment, Axel.
I wanted to thank you for an excellent job today.
Thank you.
Well, very nice. So we can see you tomorrow, bright and early, I would say. And I think you guys work a bit harder over here in southern Sweden than we do in northern Denmark, because I think 8:30 is quite early, but very nice and looking forward. So don't have too many drinks out there, but we do get a little bit of a head start because they're just finishing at the workshops now. So ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy.
But before you leave, I know that some of you, and I know you're not interested because you're Danish, but some of you are interested in the Swedish football, which is tonight, the qualifier, which Sweden is going to win, so that
You
we can
think
go
I'm more interested in the drinks?
to the drinks. Don't drink too many drinks because the game is at 9, and for those of you who are either staying at the Ideon Hotel, just around the corner, the Elite Hotel, or want to join the rest of us there, we're going to watch the game there, and you can then invite us all for beer.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you.